Hello, hello. Hope you are doing amazing, bro. And as promised, I'm going to be showing you how me and my clients were able to unlock 10 to 50% body fat, stack muscle, and re energize our life in 90 days. And I'm not going to be gatekeeping at all in this little clip to you, bro. I want to give you all the value, all the source. I call it the peak performer health system. And I strongly believe that if you apply the three simple steps that I'm going to go through today, you have a 100% guaranteed chance of getting results. And I believe in this so much. I'm so confident in this that the people that work with me one-on-one, I have a 100% money back guarantee. So that means like if you follow the program and you don't get results within 90 days, just your money straight back, no questions asked. This is the last system you will ever need to get real sustainable results. And I'm not going to be gatekeeping, man. I want to give you as much value as possible. But before we get into it, who am I? Like, who is this guy just on your screen yapping away? I'll make my head a bit smaller. There we go. Sweet. So to introduce myself, I'm Jad. And just 2 years ago, I was really overstressed and basically just stuck in survival mode. I just got accepted into medical school, which is amazing. But I was insecure and lacked confidence. As you can see in my physique, like I had a skinny fat physique and was very weak. Yeah, running on fumes, feeling drained for no reason. I was studying endless hours per day with obviously uni, even work and my own business, and I was still struggling to make ends meet. And I felt like I was going to that downward spiral. Fitness was a guessing game. Like any small results I got, I would lose because I was just too busy or wasn't disciplined enough to sustain the results and be consistent. Everything relied on motivation. Like I had no systems for success whatsoever, and my body and mindset just wasn't keeping up with my sky high ambitions because I'm a very ambitious guy, right? Fast forward to now, I've been able to sculpt my dream physique, gaining over 15 kg of lean muscle while staying at 10% body fat. My confidence, my productivity, my performance is just through the roof. And I managed to build a six-figure tutoring company while achieving a 7 GPA in medical school. And ironically, like I was studying half the time to do that. Um, Energy is at all-time high. My stress is lower, and I don't have those midday energy crashes anymore. And it was because I created a health system that didn't rely on hours in the gym or kitchen, but a bulletproof mechanism that molded to my busy lifestyle. So then I sort of took a bit of a leap of faith, and that was that I left med school to redefine health. And you're probably wondering, like, what crazy person would do that? Me. Well, basically, how it goes is I realized that I was shocked to realize that 90% of the diseases that we were studying in medical school were caused by lifestyle. Yet, there was nothing in the curriculum preparing me to actually help my patients overcome the lifestyle aspect, exercise, nutrition. We had less than 1 month of nutritional training in medical school, which is wild to me. So I was like, okay, like I need to step out if I really want the best for my patients, if I really want to set the right example. So since then, I've been working with some of my clients one-on-one, busy people, and here are just some of the results. We've got Amir, who is a business owner from Dubai. He runs two of his own businesses, and he was able to shred and see a six-pack for the first time in so long after only 30 days. And I'll let you have a YouTube video breaking down exactly how we did that as well. Matt, he was able to put on 5 kilograms of lean muscle in 30 days working together. And this is him, like, he couldn't believe it for the first time. He hit over 68 kilograms, which is huge. Like, I get so hyped reading these out. We got Nick, who within 60 days made this insane lean bulk transformation. He was struggling to find the right balance between workouts. No matter what he tried, he couldn't put on weight and keep consistent. And then through my guidance, he was able to start training and eating with purpose. And finally, Keelan, obviously much more as well, but Keelan, who dropped 5 kilograms of his stubborn fat in a matter of 30 days as well, which is insane. So yeah, really cool results. And just before I get into things, like I obviously these transformations, like they're not to say, oh, like I'm just amazing and stuff, but it's to show you and aspire you to show you what is possible for yourself. Like these results are definitely doable. Matt, when he first started, like he didn't know where to go, and he was like a bit reluctant to actually get started. And since then, he's able to make insane changes in his lifestyle. So it's just to show you like what is possible with the right strategy. I do want to make clear before I get into this system, I need to get something straight first, and that is, who is this actually for? Because it's not for everyone. So who is the solution actually for? What is the peak performer system? Who is it best going to work for? Right? It's for you if you want to feel confident in photos and fit in the clothes you want. Right? This is all about building yourself back up. As a man, it's like the most important thing to build yourself, not just mentally, but physically as well. If you want to shred stubborn fat without the restriction, right? So, like, obviously, this system, it's simplified to the bone. No BS, no fad diets, no nothing. It's proven stuff that works again and again, right? Because getting your dream physique shouldn't be about starving yourself or spending hours in the gym, right? There's a much easier way to go about it. You are tired of feeling unfocused, lethargic, and out of shape and need to make a change, then this is definitely for you. You have unhealthy habits that sabotage your progress, but you just don't know where to start in dealing them. Trust me, I've been there, and a lot of my clients start off like this. This is just like, it's a normal, common thing that a lot of people face, and it's a big part of the focus. So it's definitely for you if that's the case. You want to feel good, not only look good. This program, if you want to look good, just be like the rest of the other people that you see on Instagram. Start taking steroids, and you'll look amazing. Do you know what I mean? So this program is to optimize your holistic health and get you performing at peak levels. That's what I'm all about. You want to lead a life that you never need a vacation from. This is definitely for you. You're busy building your dream life and need your body on your side. Not an anchor, but rocket fuel, right? You understand that health is a foundation to all success. Then this is definitely for you. And lastly, if you know you're leaving a lot on the table and ready to go all in, then you're going to like what you're about to see today, bro. So just to get everything straight as well, who is this not for, right? So it's not for you if you don't mind settling for average or good enough results, right? We're about elite world class results, right? There's no compromise. You have heaps of free time to go to the gym. Again, this is for busy high achievers who have got other things outside their life than just the gym, right? And this is why I created this system. I'm so passionate about helping others because I was exactly in this situation. I had no time, right? But I think there's a lot of ways you can go about by getting around this. And it's not always totally the case, which we'll get to. If you only care about how you look, again, this is not for you. This is about optimizing your whole health. You expect quick fixes without consistency and effort. This is definitely not for you. And you aren't prepared to change your old ways or to be held accountable to the peak performer standard. Then this is definitely not for you. All right. And let's get straight into it. Like, what is this peak performer standard? What is the peak performer health system? So, to understand the peak performer health system, I need to emphasize why 99% of people fail in their transformations. It comes down to a series of reasons, right? The first, they think that they need loads of cardio to lose fat. And that's totally not true. Cardio is an accessory. It accelerates, but it is not the foundation for fat loss, right? I myself never have done cardio consistently, and yet I'm at 10% body fat. So there's a lot of other things that go in, such as what goes in the front door, what you eat, for example, right? Number two, I need more than 3 hours per week of training if I want real results. Totally not true. If I go back to my client Amir, the business owner from Dubai, he only had like 2 hours a week to train, yet was still able to put on some amazing muscle and some results, right? So it's not about how much time you have. It's about a system that molds to your busy lifestyle, all right? You don't need to spend hours in the gym to get results. I'll tell you that. Number three, I need to focus on uni, work, business. Then I'll get started when I get the time. And this is a big thing that I initially thought, like coming from, like this is what I tell myself a year ago. And that is, if your health foundation isn't bulletproof, then how can you expect to be productive in your work, to to do any of these things and reach any of your goals that you have. Like your health, your energy, that is the engine that supercharges everything else. So it's about it's about having non-negotiables that allow you to keep your health up and still improve even if you are busy, right? Number 4, I need more discipline to be consistent and fight my bad habits. And it's not about discipline. Like this is like a big thing. People like, oh, like, motivation isn't real. Discipline is everything. And like that is true to some extent. But there are people that say they aren't disciplined enough, yet they work their 9 to 5 every single day in a job they don't like. Like you are definitely disciplined. You're more disciplined than me. I wouldn't do that, right? It's not about discipline. It's about creating a system that removes willpower from the equation, allows you to do these things automatically, live healthier, become the best version of yourself while it is an automatic process in your life, right? It removes the motivation. It removes the willpower. It's a system, right? So you don't need discipline, right? And then lastly, I need a restrictive diet or to starve myself to get leaner. And that's totally not true as well. There's a way easier way to go about it, right? So let's get started. I'm gonna show you the 3-prong system that I use with my clients, and ultimately this solves, I would say, the main 3 bottlenecks people face when trying to change their physique and upgrade their health to the next level. And it's because of 3 reasons. Like the first, they have no idea where they're going. They don't know where they're at in terms of like they don't track their progress. So if that's the case, then how do you know where you're heading? If you don't know your numbers, if you don't know what your current, like most people, they probably weigh themselves once, try a bunch of stuff, try the gym, go to the gym, do a bunch of random workouts, whatever, come back, weigh themselves maybe 5 months later, 4 months later, and then nothing's changed. And they're like, oh, like, why haven't I changed? You don't have access to the data you need to change, right? That's a big thing. They don't know where they're going. The bottleneck number 2 is they don't know what they're doing is going to get results, right? So they and this is the experience I had, and what a lot of people do when they first start their fitness journey. They see online, okay, like they see an Instagram workout, they try that. They see online, okay, maybe I should try the sauna because that helps with my health and stuff. So I'm going to do some sauna. I saw this carnivore diet. I'm maybe going to chuck that in and try a bit of that. And they see their results after maybe 2-3 months of working as hard as they can and putting everything in, and it's barely there, if not any results at all, right? So that's like really relatable to me, and it's like that's how a lot of the fitness journeys go, and it's because they don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing, and it doesn't matter. Like it's if I want to give you guys an analogy in terms of a train and a train track, right? Like you don't just need a powerful engine in your train, aka your effort. You need a train track heading to your destination. That is the strategy, right? A lot of people, they don't have a strategy, and no wonder why they're not getting results, right? You need a bulletproof strategy that is personalized to your life. And lastly, let's say you have the first 2. The third bottleneck, which I would say is probably one of the most common ones, is they don't have a system to make it all consistent. They can't stick to the basics consistently, right? Maybe you relate to this, right? Like you've had so much you know what you need to be doing, let's say. You know your numbers, but you can't stay consistent with it. You get too busy, for example, right? And you don't have a system in place that allows you to do it day in, day out, right? Those are the 3 bottlenecks. And this is what the Peak Performer Health System helps with, right? It's addressing all 3 of these bottlenecks to make sure that results are inevitable, basically, just like you see for my clients. So let's just go, for example, let's start off with what we do at first, which is the body and performance data sets. If you're not tracking your progress, if you're not tracking your results, where you're at, where you need to go, then you're not progressing. It is simple as that. So I'll give you guys an example with my client, David. All right, David started with me 9th of April, which is like 20 days ago. And he obviously we started off by putting all his health stats on a board, right? This is what I like to call our little health metric board. His body fat percentage, his weight, his BMI, progress photos, like tracking everything. Weight is not enough. We need all this data to figure it out. And we ended up pinpointing, okay, like sleep needs some work. We want to reduce body fat percentage, things like that. So we looked at what his data was. and tracked it over time. So you guys should be measuring your weight like at least every like twice a week if your target is to lose weight, right? So with David, we were able to lose 3.2 kilograms in his first 19 days, which is insane. We only could do this because we were tracking where he was going and we could adjust the strategy accordingly, which is why the first pillar is data set tracking, right? So it's not necessarily about tracking food, but for example, taking photos of your food. That will build awareness. If you ever take a photo, no one's going to take a photo of an M&M packet, right? So a small thing is taking photos of your food, which is exactly what we did with David, built that awareness for him to make healthier choices subconsciously, right? And this is what I highly recommend you doing. Have a friend that you text your progress with to keep you accountable, right? And if you can see here, like to the foods that David was eating, it's nothing restricted, right? You guys don't see any like vegan, carnivore, like he's eating everything he wants. Look at that GYG bowl, some nice steak, some homemade chips. Like it's not about restriction, guys. It's about having structure. That's the big thing, right? Even tracking your weight, like the weight that you're actually lifting at the gym, right? You need to be progressively overloading. That is like the number one principle when it comes to muscle building, right? So if you aren't intentionally tracking the weight you're doing week in, week out, how do you know if you're actually doing that, right? So actually physically tracking your progressive overload removes the guessing game out of things and make sure that you are actually making progress inevitably, right? So this is Sahil, for example. He's gaining like progress with all his lift every single week, right? So this is the stuff that you guys want to be tracking. Even body fat percentage. This is Kyle's stats. So you lost what's that? 1.8% body fat in a matter of just a week or two, right? Which is really good. So yeah, tracking your data. That's important. That's the first thing. Secondly, right, your peak physique protocols. What I like to call the peak physique protocols. These are the three basic pillars that you need to be optimizing, right? Fuel, aka nutrition. So fuel like a Ferrari, that's what I like to call it. If you feed Ferrari poor quality fuel, then you can't expect it to perform the way that you want to. It's the same with your bodies, right? What are you actually fueling your bodies with? What's going in the front door? Secondly is training. Like have an intentional training program, right? Train like a warrior. And then lastly is sleep like a baby, right? So this is just not just to do with optimizing sleep for 7 to 9 hours. There's obviously a lot more to do with that. The quality of the sleep and also things around your training to promote recovery and make sure that you're able to hit it maximum every single time at your maximum effort, right? So this is all about raising the standards. Like first pillar is you want to see where your baseline's at. Confront the numbers, see where you're at. Second pillar is raising that standard, right? So in terms of nutrition, composing your diet of a 90% real food system where you're actually filling yourself with whole single ingredients, right? This is going to be the easiest for you to progress and be in a caloric deficit if you are looking for that effortless fat loss, right? Doesn't necessarily mean tracking your calories, right? Even things like a meal plan, which I can actually create for you if you want to. Just text me and I can create one just for you as well. And that will allow you to develop that structure, right? And eventually, like the other clients I do, and even for myself, they end up going intuitively because they built that structure. They spent the initial effort building their structure out. Then they can then go ahead and implement these things without even thinking, having an automatic process, right? So that's ultimately the goal. Like you want to live your life. You want fitness to be the background thing that fuels everything, not your main focus, right? So this is all about what the protocols do. Just looking at a couple things that we've been able to achieve with this, like we got Matt, increase in energy, mood, less stress, longer, less interrupted sleep. Like these are just some of the benefits that I have with some of the people that work with me. We got Moran, who was like working with Jad for 30 days, has been an absolute game changer. Got stronger, leaner, lost 90 centimeters around his waist, which is insane. And I really do want to share this text by Matt. This is insane here. He said, "Hey, bro, just want to say thank you so much for the journey you've helped me on the last month. Been feeling so much more energetic, overall feel much happier and healthier than I did the past year. I was a bit iffy in the beginning about starting because I was unsure with the process. But after you broke everything down for me and showed me it's really quite easy, I decided to take the chance, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've gained about 5 kilograms of lean muscle. I've gained significant strength on all my lifts. I'm becoming confident with my physique, and my quality of sleep and energy levels are so much better than they were before. Like, I'm so happy reading this, guys. Like, this makes my day. Like, this is why I do this at the end of the day. Appreciate you a lot, bro. You're the man when it comes to changing lives. Insane. And yeah, so that's the second pillar. That's implementing protocols around training, sleep, and nutrition, right? Implementing actual training program that is personalized to you, right? And then the third and last pillar is building habits and automating the whole process, right? This is about, again, building a system that allows you to do these things consistently and sustainably for your lifestyle. So what this looks like is a coaching roadmap. So like each week you are tracking, right? Pillar one. You have the protocols that you're implementing. That's pillar two. And you're also mapping it out and having things like a meal plan, right? Right? So this is my meal plan for my example client, Kyle, who lost 2% body fat in his first week, right? Weekly grocery lists, right? So to make sure that if you're buying the right foods each week, you can't lose. That's like the number one hack for eating clean. Control what you buy. If you buy poor quality foods, then you're just going to eat poor quality foods, right? But if you force yourself to actually stick to this structure and fill yourself with foods and actually buy those foods, then you design your environment to make it very hard for you to lose, right? So, yeah, for example, client Amir, he was only training 0 to 2 times per week over the last month because of travel, and he was still able to sustain and even make some gains because of the dialed nutrition strategy that we developed, right? And this is about building the habits and automating it through a system, right? And that's it. And then we just you want to continually refine this process, continually tracking where you're at in terms of your weight, your body fat percentage, your energy levels, your performance in the gym, refining your protocols, and then building habits. And this is a continual cycle that goes around and around. So yeah, hope you got value from this. If you have any questions or anything that you want to clear up, like, please just text me and let me know. Like, I'm more than happy to help you out. And even as well, I can offer you a one-to-one strategy call with me where we can see how this exact system would work for you personally around your lifestyle. So figuring out exactly what you need, and potentially I can give you a free personalized meal plan that you can take away. So if you join the call, you're going to leave us some value either way. Whether you want to work with me, whether I think we're a good fit together to work together, that's awesome. Or if you want to just go away and implement some of the stuff we talked about yourself, that is also great with me as well. Right. So keen to chat soon, and I'll catch you later, man. Peace.